Welcome everybody back to the 90 Plus podcast where stoppage time never runs out. And you guys already know we're going to keep the hot takes coming. We're your host. I'm Victor.
Fabio.
And let's get to it because we got a lot to discuss today. So I want to start in La Liga today. And I want to start with a team that we didn't really get to talk about much last week. I think it had to do with the fact that they hadn't played, but now they have. And now we've seen them. Real Madrid. They won 3-0 against Real Oviedo. Mbappe with 2, Vinny with 1. Some interesting stuff going in there. So let's just get your thoughts on that. What do you think of Madrid so far?
Yeah, we didn't have a chance to talk about them last week, so there's actually two games that they already played. They won both of the games. The first one was 1-0. The second one was 3-0. That first game, I'm not even gonna lie. They won, but realistically, they didn't perform that well. I think they should have performed a lot better, but they were struggling in that just finishing. I mean, it does make sense that the team they were playing against was playing super defensively, but they weren't being creative with their chances. So if you're not being creative, then the other team is going to pick up on your tactics, and
Yeah.
then they're going to be able to easily defend, which they did. At the end of the day, they were only able to score a penalty, which is one of those where it's like you kind of got lucky, but at the same time you didn't. So
I want to get into a little bit of the penalty because we didn't get to talk about it last week because, again, it hadn't happened by the time we recorded. But did you see the replay?
I saw the replay, and it was a little bit, I would say it was 50-50.
Okay, so question is, according to the rules, do you think it's penalty?
At the end of the day, he did touch Mbappe a little bit, but also like Mbappe touched him. Um,
Because from my understanding, the rules go like whichever fall happens first. That's the way that you like. It is like I'm not arguing that Mbappe was in touch. I'm not arguing. And when I first saw it, I didn't even make anything of it. I was like, okay, clear penalty, like Real Madrid, whatever. But when I saw the replay, Mbappe puts his cleats up on the defender first. Obviously, the defender takes him with the momentum, and there was no way that he wasn't going to touch him, whether Mbappe cleared him or not. But I just thought it was interesting because if there's a foul leading up to the play or part of the play, like I'm not going to say what I think it was or wasn't. It's kind of like I could see both sides, but
yeah, I don't know. In my opinion, I think that it probably was a pen. I do see that Mbappe stepping on the defender could be seen as a foul, but at the same time, the defender is slide tackling.
Yeah.
So the one that's actually committing like the offensible foul will be the defender, and like in those situations, it is gonna be called that way. The second game, they were looking pretty good. First half.
First half they struggled, dude.
Yeah,
like
first half
I did see them miss like one. I saw Arda Guler had basically what should have been a tap, and it was like a rebound, and he struggled with that. The lineup was interesting. Vinicius was benched.
I like that.
Yeah,
I really did like that.
we saw Carvajal was back from injury. Awesome to see. But yeah, Mbappe obviously shining, and we'll get to more of that. But let's start there with the lineup. Is there anything about the lineup that you liked or didn't particularly like?
I like that Xavi Alonso was just testing the chemistry. We do know that last year, the lineup basically didn't change that much. Like Ancelotti just kept the same players in. If we saw no chemistry, he was still putting the same players in. And Xavi Alonso is seeing that like the chemistry is not there, and that's why Vinny started out on the bench. Like that was something that Ancelotti wouldn't do unless he was injured. Xavi was like, no, I don't like that. I'm gonna put you on the bench, see how the chemistry works, see if we could be a little bit more creative, because Vinny is not creative. He hasn't been creative in the past season either.
Which is interesting because he did end up getting the assist on Mbappe. And he also ended up with a goal. But also, I just wanted to double check, but if I'm not wrong, Rodrigo started, right, as well?
Rodrigo started, yes.
What did you think about that? Because the way I saw it, I'm like, they're just doing anything they can to keep him. But realistically, I feel like they're going to give him a game or two, and then afterwards, he's going to go back. Unfortunately, I really like Rodrigo. I think he's a wonderful player, and I would have loved to see him somewhere like City or another top team. But what did you think about that? Did you think Alonso did it with wanting to like actually give Rodrigo a fair chance, or do you think it was more like, hey, let's do whatever we can to keep him here. I'll give him a couple minutes here and there.
I think he's actually trying to give him a chance. I think he's trying to see like how he performs with the team under this new management. Because realistically, he hasn't given him a chance, and you never know. He could become a player that actually works a lot better under Xavi Alonso than he did with Ancelotti. And you can't see that unless you actually see him play, which is like some of the things that he's doing. He's giving players that were on the bench, like Real Madrid will buy them just to have them sit on the
Yeah,
bench.
yeah.
Like he's actually using the talent that Real Madrid has and see what is the best chemistry. And I think that's what he's doing, and it worked out for him this
Yeah.
past game for sure.
And I think that'll pay dividends for Madrid down the line. The reason why is because if you really look at Madrid's like entirety of the team, like their depth of squad, they have so many good players, but sometimes it feels like they're too overloaded in one area or the other.
Yeah,
For example, like the midfield, right? You have Valverde, you have Tchouaméni, you have um Bellingham, obviously, you have Arda Güler,
Camavinga.
Camavinga, like so many names, and it's kind of like, okay, well, how do I find the and like right now, sure, like Arda's getting some playing time, but do you think that's going to be the case once Bellingham comes back and
Mhm.
so on and so forth? With the wings, the same, right? Like ideally, I feel like Mbappe's best position is not as a number nine; it's either on either of the wings, but you don't really have a number nine. But then you brought in Mastantuno, so he could be the number nine, and
Yeah.
it's very interesting to see like this.
And you also have Gonzalo too. That
Yeah,
he they proved that he could play as a
yeah,
number
he
9.
played great in the Club World Cup and in preseason. But yeah, so it's just very interesting to see what's gonna happen with Real Madrid. I really want to continue to track and see going forward what happens. But then it brings up another point. And I was seeing this somewhere online about basically the comparison between Vinicius and Mbappe. And I think we could give a more non-biased comparison because we are Madrid fans. And I would love
Mhm.
to like maybe have David here and next time he does come, we could ask him about like what he thinks as a Madrid fan. But if you had to keep one, or like here's what was brought up. If Saudi Arabia came up and was like, "Hey, I'm going to give you 150 or 200 million for Vinicius," would you sell him?
If I'm being honest, yes. And then the other part is that Real Madrid, I feel like they already know that.
Yeah,
They know that if a good offer comes for Vinny, they'll take it. Because realistically, Vinny hasn't been performing this season or this past season after the Ballon d'Or
yeah, he hasn't done it
situation.
10 times more or whatever.
Yeah, he hasn't been providing yeah, he hasn't been providing for Real. And you could see that there is still a little bit of conflict with Real and Vinny because they don't they're extending a contract towards Vinny,
But
but
he
they're
doesn't.
not
Yeah,
meeting his demands. They're at Vinny's asking for like performance bonuses and stuff like that. And Real is just like, no, we're just gonna pay you this much. And I could see why Real is doing that. You're not gonna give someone a bonus if they've been performing bad.
yeah.
So I feel
Which at
like
which at the same time, I also think it brings up the point of like I think Vinicius had like an outstanding first season, or like not first season, but like his Ballon d'Or season, the one where he was a runner up or whatever.
mhm,
He had an outstanding performance season
yeah.
there, but he hasn't been the same ever since.
And I think what is affecting him is that he thinks that they can't replace him.
Yeah,
When Real Madrid wants a player, they're gonna get him. Like they had
bro,
Mbappe.
they figured out a way to replace Ronaldo. Like there's no player in Real Madrid history that's going to be irreplaceable. Like they're going to figure it out. Like I have no doubt about that.
Yeah,
Um,
and also because of like being able because you're Real Madrid, players want to come play for
yeah.
you. They'll terminate the
I
contracts. They'll
mean,
do everything they
look
can.
at Trent. Didn't he take a pay cut to come play for Madrid?
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, it's just an interesting point. Obviously, I'm not saying oh Vinicius is leaving or not, but I think more the point that I was trying to get is that like I really do think we saw the peak of Vinicius, and I think like now he's coming back to like a level,
he's
like what
rem-
he's going to be like his base right of
he's
play.
reminding me of Coutinho.
Yeah,
Coutinho was all like a top tier player, and then after 1, 2 seasons, you're like, maybe he's just having like a bad time, and then you just
yeah, you
keep going
realize
down.
that. But um, anyhow, any other major takeaways from the Real Madrid win 3-0 over Oviedo, or anything else we want to say about Madrid before moving on?
I don't know. It's kind of hard. It's only been 2 games. The first
Yeah,
game, I'm pretty sure even Madrid fans could agree that like they weren't playing the best football. The one by Penn, they could have played a lot better.
yeah,
Like they should have played a lot better. That second game, they did play a lot better. They were looking a lot better. They were looking more comfortable. They were looking more dangerously too. And I just want to see like what's gonna happen with the third, fourth, fifth games. Like
yeah.
it's only been 2 games, so it's kind of hard to say if a team is in top form or not. But yeah, I want to see how they perform the next couple of matches.
So they have Mallorca coming up the 30th of August. To
What Mallorca? They already lost 2 games in a row. That might
yeah,
be the third one.
Yeah, I mean, tough start for Mallorca for sure. But that's what's next for Real Madrid. Now, moving on forward here with La Liga continuing with the current champions and number one team right now,
Mhm.
Barcelona.
Actually, number two.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, you get what I was getting at, but yeah, Villarreal, if I'm not right. Yep,
Yes,
Villarreal goal
goal
differential.
difference.
Yeah,
Yeah.
interesting. That'll be a good game when it happens. But yeah, current reigning champions Barcelona. They had an unbelievable comeback, 3-2. Yeah. What do we think about that? Levante was. Oh, let's just start
Yeah, so Levante is a team that just got promoted into the top league. They've been there a couple times, so they know the pressure. They know how they have played against Barcelona and stuff like that. It just hasn't been in a while.
Yeah.
Um, Something that I think that Barcelona was trying for the first time this season was trying a different combination of lineups. So they decided Rafinha as a center attacking mid,
Hmm.
Rashford as a left winger, Rafinha as a right winger, Ferran as a striker, and they actually started Casado too.
I, dude, okay. We need to get into that right now because I want to get into Casado and then I also want to get into the other change in the lineup, which was, or I guess it wasn't a change, but from last season, we didn't see Kunde and we saw Eric Garcia.
Hmm.
I want to talk about those two. Last season, man, I am in love with Barcelona's midfield. Any of the players, whether it be Casado, whether it be Fermin, whether it be Olmo, um, whoever, right? Pedri, obviously, I think Pedri is the best center mid in the world. We
Hmm.
could debate about that
He's the
later
only
if
one
anybody
that's not getting
wants.
subbed.
Right. And then you have De Jong, like any Mark Bernal is back from injury. Like, I love their midfield. And last season, I remember El Clásico was like the first El Clásico at Madrid
Hmm.
where it was 4-0. Huge wake up call for like a lot of people who didn't know how much of a baller Casado was. He was playing lights out. I was really excited to see him, and I feel like a lot of people gave him shit when he left the game. But if you go back and actually look at the game, there was a couple more plays that Levante could have scored on if it wasn't for Casado tracking back. So I think he was doing well defensively, and then going forward, I think it wasn't so much his fault. It was just that like we see every other team. Levante was playing, parking the bus, closing down the field, make it really difficult for Barca or realistically anyone at this point to like break through lines
Hmm.
and generate anything. But that's one thing. The other thing, Kunde, bro, he's he's top three center back, right back in the world, and he ain't number three. So I don't
Yeah.
know, man. I like Eric Garcia, but I just think that like if you have Kunde who's been playing great all season, maybe the only thing I could think of is like you're trying out something new because it's the beginning of the season. You expect the games to go a lot easier than they went, and that's why you're giving Eric Garcia a chance. But I want to see Kunde, man, and I think we saw Barca really their spirit lifted when they started making all the changes, when Kunde came on, when a
Hmm.
couple other players came on. But what are your thoughts on that as a fellow Barca fan?
Yeah, no, I understand that you like Casado. He's a good player. He's more of a holding defensive mid,
Hmm.
which sometimes that's what Barcelona needs when they're attacking so much. Um, but I personally, I don't think I liked his performance. He didn't do bad,
Yeah,
but he could have done a lot better. But also in that situation, he was also staying back too much, which was hurting Barca on the counters.
yeah,
Because essentially, when you have like the young, he would stay up and put pressure for them to do like a bad pass and stuff. But Casada was playing back so much that he was leaving open space in the center mid, allowing for those deep driven balls into
yeah,
into Barcelona's final third, which caused some dangerous
yeah.
counters.
I mean,
Uh,
honestly, like I think it was the first or second goal that Levante scored. It was a beautiful goal. The
oh
build up,
yeah.
the way, yeah. But I agree with what you're saying. I guess the question that I would want to ask to kind of get your full opinion on Barcelona's midfield, if you had to decide how you would compose that midfield, who would be the players? Like, okay, you know what? Better question. We'll focus on the midfield, but overall, you're starting 11 for Barcelona. Ideal, who would it be?
At first, I'm just gonna start with the midfield.
Okay.
Pedri, of course, no one's taking his spot. De Jong is a really good player. Um, the subs could be Gavi for sure, because I feel like Gavi also made a really impactful change. If it
Yeah.
wasn't for Pedri, I would have given Gavi the MVP
Okay.
because he put in the pressure. He was putting the pressure that Casado wasn't. He was following the ball putting pressure on the players, making sure that if they were passing, it wasn't a comfortable pass.
Yeah.
He was doing that, and he was being aggressive. So those were really good in those returning of the balls where the Levante's formation was a little bit shaky
So
because
you
they were
would
trying to
say
transition into the counter. Then they would lose the ball real fast, and then that transition right there caused their line to be a little bit
to
screwed,
break.
and that's where they were breaking in.
So you would say so then your starting midfield, if you could choose, would be Pedri, Gavi, and De Jong.
The Young and Gavi will be interchangeable depending on what team you're playing.
Okay.
Because the other thing is, like, you're playing Levante that you know is going to be playing defensively. You don't need a defensive holding back.
Yeah.
You need another player to make sure to shaken up that
Right.
line.
I think when you have someone like, for example, who's a lot more attacking, like if you were to play a Clásico against Real Madrid, that's when you
Salah
want
will
something.
be,
Yeah, exactly.
or someone like not even Atletico because they always play back too, but like a team that you know is gonna, because Levante, they just got not renovated, promoted. Like
Yeah,
you shouldn't be expecting that much firepower from
yeah.
them,
No,
and
I agree.
especially when you're a team like
Which,
Barca.
no disrespect to Levante, obviously, like, great job in getting the promotion and everything, but just the saying, like, if you just got promoted, you're barely getting accustomed to La Liga again.
Mhm.
You don't expect much. So then
I do have one question though. What do you think about Rashford? Him starting?
I do want to get back to that. I just kind of want to get the starting 11.
Okay.
So you have Gavi and De Jong interchangeable, Pedri for sure, and then who's your third midfielder?
Again, it depends on the team you're playing. It's either Olmo or oh, I forgot his name. Yeah, Fermin Lopez.
Okay.
I know that we started Rafinha this time.
I don't really like him, which I think that leads perfectly into the question that you were
Mhm.
asking about Rafinha and Rashford. I didn't really like Rafinha down the mid as much. I think he was a lot more creative as a left wing, and he actually, I don't know if you noticed, but he played left back. At the end of the match they subbed out Balde, and Rafinha had to play left back. Granted, it was a very attacking left back. It wasn't so much left.
No, so I think what happened was that Flick was betting everything.
Yeah,
He was like, we either tie or we win. So he took out Balde back and he put in Lewandowski. So
yeah.
he was overloading the attacking line. Rafinha was still up there. Once
But
Barcelona.
there was a couple plays where you saw Rafinha basically doing the same defensive work that Balde was doing. He was tracking back. He was in
Well,
the
no, here's the thing. Once Barcelona score,
Mhm.
Rafinha stayed back.
Yeah,
He was staying back because he was like, oh, we need four in the back.
which
We
is
know they're gonna.
exactly what I want from my player.
Yeah.
Which I think, like, and I've been saying this all season long. Last season, that's kind of what separates him and a Vinicius or an Mbappe. Vinicius and Mbappe have, and don't get me wrong, not so much Mbappe, but a lot more Vinicius. He has this idea that he's a superstar. He doesn't have to run. Realistically, he's number 2 in Madrid, maybe number 3, because
Mhm.
number 1 is going to be Mbappe. So you have to pressure, and you didn't see that last season from Vinicius. You didn't see that last season from Mbappe, but you've been seeing it all of last season, all of this season from Rafinha. And this is why I love Rafinha, because he's not only willing to go and attack, but he's willing to do the dirty work, come back, defend, get the
Yeah.
balls. And I just love that.
And at that
mention
point, that makes sense too, because you just need to stay back. You need to just hold on to that lead for like 5 minutes, which
Yeah.
is like key. So you need to have all your good players in the back, and then also he was like feeding those longer balls to make sure that the ball was going back to their side of the field, which was helpful.
Yeah.
Now this brings me to the point of him
Rashford.
being in center attacking mid and
Yeah.
Rashford. Rashford, he had a couple good dribbles. I did see that he struggled to provide the ball to the box, which is where I see Rafinha being better.
Yeah.
Like he's able to provide those better balls and crosses
Yeah.
into the inside the
I just
box.
think he's more dangerous overall. Like
Yeah.
any head-to-head that you do between Rashford and Rafinha,
hmm
I just think Rafinha takes it, but continues on.
And I think that Rafinha struggles to get those balls into the box if he's playing central.
Okay, yeah.
Because he's good at drifting and then providing the
Yeah.
cross. And I feel like we just have players that do it a lot better.
Yeah, I would have
And,
rather seen either Fermin or Olmo.
like
or
Olmo was
even
feeding those,
Gavi, I would have rather seen in there.
yeah, like Olmo was feeding those balls into the box a lot better. Pedri was doing a fantastic job. He passed about to Ferran Torres that he missed. Oh my God.
Pedri, it is a delight to watch Pedri play.
Mhm.
I'm getting so excited just talking about him. He is exquisite on the ball. He's a maestro. He has that touch. He has a vision. Yeah, and it comes from someone that a few years ago, like if you tell me 5 years ago, I didn't really understand the Pedri hype. And it
Hmm.
wasn't because I didn't think he was good. It was just like I didn't really see him as much as I would see other players. But
Yeah,
when I started paying attention to Pedri, oh my God, he's a wonderful player to watch.
yeah,
It's like a classic, true number 8. Watch him play.
yeah.
Wonderful.
Pedri is your definition of a center. You want someone that controls the
Yeah.
game, controls the tempo, provides those ball
The
into the
goal,
box. Yeah,
banger of a goal.
and that it can also be seen as a catalyst because
Yeah.
like
That's
it
what
built
drove
up
Barcelona
the
forward.
yeah,
Yeah. Which
and
is another interesting point of like, you go down 2-0, you go down to 1, 2-2 within 6 minutes of starting the second half, and
yeah.
now it's all everything.
It's back as
Yeah, back to
starting
square
ground,
one.
yeah. And here's the thing, I do understand that people compare her to Bellingham because Bellingham is like the other good center mid in La Liga. And you guys are like, how can you guys compare Pedri to Bellingham when
They're
Bellingham has
different.
more goals, more assists? But if you're looking as a center mid, your goal is not to be scoring
Yeah,
as much, but creating those passes, controlling the tempo, and that's something that Pedri does.
yeah,
And also, like he might not be scoring or assisting that much, but when you put him in the field, he makes a difference.
yeah,
Bellingham, I don't see it that much.
yeah. I think it's a slippery slope to get down because I think we could both agree that Bellingham is a top player and
Hmm.
he's one of the top center attacking mids in the world. That's granted. I think Pedri is the top center mid in the world, just mid overall. And like you said, Bellingham's area of play is a more specialized. Like you got to be attacking closer to the number 9
Yeah,
than
he's a shadow
Pedri.
striker
Yeah,
essentially.
and he's good. Bellingham's a great player. He doesn't control the tempo as much as Pedri does, and and sometimes it just feels like comparing apples to oranges. You know, like
Hmm.
I guess the more direct comparison would either be Fermin or Olmo for Bellingham, but yeah. So Barca tied 2-2, and then obviously some Lamine magic at the end of the game to win it 3.
I hot take, I don't think Lamy played his best game.
Yeah,
I think
I actually
the
think he played very poorly, but which is interesting because even him playing poorly, one moment of magic, it's basically what it gives you, right? Like it brings
yeah,
you back. And brings me to the next question with Barcelona, which is, are they almost better when they're down, especially down 2-0, right? Because we've seen it I mean,
yeah, multiple times.
as Real Madrid last Clásico of the season, it was the same thing. They were down 2-0 and then came back, and I mean, it was a different scoreline at that point, but it,
I think
they
it
almost
turns
seems,
on this fire on them,
yeah,
like the inspiration part of it. Yeah, no, I definitely do think they're dangerous. It's starting to get to the point that if you see Barcelona go down, you're still like, they're
yeah.
still gonna win it.
Dude, and it is crazy because the first goal came in, I'm like, oh my God. The second goal, I was like, okay, guys, come on. Like, let's get to it. As soon as I can have started, the first goal kicked, I'm like, all right, here we go. Kick my feet up. I'm like,
Yeah.
now let's watch the game because that's what I've been used to as a Barca fan. But I kind of wish that like Hansi Flick could come up with a way to be like, okay, guys, we need to find that fire from minute one.
You know what I think? I think Hansi Flick did an amazing job in this game. Because here's the thing. He made a bunch of changes. He was trying a
Yeah,
chemistry. He was trying to see like, hey, will this work? And low key, it is the perfect time to do that. You're playing against a team
yeah.
that just got promoted. So you know that your team already have the advantage, even if your players are not playing the position they usually play.
I think the
Now,
problem is that like a lot of people see it as like it was a really close call, and
mhm.
it shouldn't have been this close of a call. I'm all for to Hansi doing this, but I realistically think that by halftime being down 2-0, you should have done a lot more changes and you should have gone out with your stellar starting 11
No,
team.
but here's the thing. I do think he did the changes that
Hmm.
he needed to. Because
Yeah,
you
no, for
don't, you
sure.
see coaches, they wait until minute 60. They're like, let's give the players a little bit more time to see if they get the groove and rhythm. He's like, no, he saw that Barcelona needed more
I
attacking
taking
force.
props, yeah.
That's where he took a Casado. He saw that Casado was not the best fit for
Yeah,
Levante. He put in Gavi. Gavi did an amazing job. He made that center mid of Levante center mid uncomfortable.
yeah.
And then he put in Rafinha on the left wing, which he
He should
feels more
naturally, yeah.
comfortable. And then he brought in Dani Olmo, someone to feed the ball into the middle. I personally, I was like, man, I wish he would have put in Lewandowski instead of Ferran. Because after that miss, I'm like, Ferran, like, that was a bad miss. That's a miss that gets you subbed off,
Which
essentially.
which I think we kind of did steer a little. I wanted to go back to Rashford because I feel like we did steer away from him. What did you think? Would you have him in your starting 11, or do you think he's better as a sub? My quick thought process of it is like, man, the winger position's dead, bro. Like, there's very few natural wingers, and we've had this conversation with Lamine,
Mhm.
which is like why he seems so good and why people love to watch Lamine because and you have it a little bit with like maybe Due as well, Desiree Due, a couple other players, but it's like I love the players that take on that one on one, that cut inside, that give you a little bit of flair. And I feel like Rashford used to be that player a little bit more in his United days. And now it's just kind of like I hate seeing the ball come to you. You get the pressure and then you just kick the ball back. Like, bro, come on, like do something different. Like this is why you're here.
I think something that's different and affects it is that Rafinha and Lamine have the body built where they could be smooth with it, where they're able to
Mm-hmm.
change directions
The
and
agility.
yeah, they're
Okay.
being able to be agile, dribble and stuff like that. I feel like Rashford is a little bit
Bulkier.
bulkier, which he struggles to, be able to actually go through a player because he's gonna get body for sure, and like they're gonna be able to get him. Um, where I feel like maybe he might be a better striker.
Tracker. That's
Yeah.
exactly what I was thinking. I was like, maybe it's time to like well, okay. So
But that's something that Flick will have to,
yeah.
play
Which
with,
brings
which
in
is
this
gonna be
whole other question of
dangerous.
like, you have Lewandowski. Obviously, Lewandowski is older. He struggles with injury a lot more. You're not gonna be. He's gonna be your starting when you need him to start, but
Hmm.
he's not gonna be. He's not gonna be starting every game. Then your first backup is Ferran, who I think he works better as a super sub than he does as a starter.
There's times where I forget he's playing.
Yeah, and like we saw it this weekend with especially the ball that you were saying that Pedri fed him, and
Hmm.
it was a tap in. It should have been a tap in. Any other striker, like, and I think that Ferran as a sub would have scored it, but
Oh yeah.
I don't know what it is. If there's like a mental lack of clarity when he starts the game that, and maybe it's like a fire within him when he comes in from sub that he's like, I want that starting job. But
Hmm.
then when he has it, he's a little complacent, and I don't love that about him. So what I would love to see would be obviously Lewandowski untouchable, where when he's fit to play and against the teams that he's good to play him. Super sub Ferran, but when Lewandowski's not fit to play, I would still keep Ferran as a super sub and start Rashford. See
Hmm.
what he could offer there.
Yeah.
But yeah. Um aside from that, yeah, like I said, I'm super happy, super excited about this. I'm a little worried. I hope that Barcelona
They don't fall in that
they
track
don't
that
fall in that
always
trap
fall
that they're
behind.
always waiting for a fairy tale ending. And hey, to be fair, if you were to tell me right now they're gonna go down in every game they play, but they're gonna come back, I would sign that right away. But at the end of the day, it's like I want my team to be dominant from minute one, right?
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, anything else that you want to talk about with Barcelona? Just want to see real quick who their next opponent is. Um, closing thoughts on Barcelona, Fabio?
Um, nah, they were playing good. Um, Something that I wish would just change is the referee. Realistically, like I do feel like there's
Referees.
every year's changing a little bit. Like one game you see one thing, the other ones you see the same
That
exact
are
thing
you
and
talking
different
about the
outcome.
handball?
Yeah.
That handball was absolutely ridiculous, especially when you take into account that that same referee he's the one that didn't count that handball on Chouameni, was it?
Mm-hmm.
Last season in
That's
El Clasico.
classical.
Absolutely disgusting, but what else could you expect from refereeing in La Liga?
I
So,
just think they need to be more consistent.
yeah,
Realistically, like you could
consistency is going to be
be
key.
yeah, you could be a Real Madrid fan, Barcelona fan, or just a football fan, but like if you see those two together, like either both of them are hands or neither of them are hands.
Yeah.
But the
We need,
consistency is what's like,
yeah.
it's a big thing right now.
So yeah, Barcelona are going to be playing Rayo Vallecano on August 31st to close up the month. I also just want to see the new kits, man. I'm tired of these.
The green
Like,
one, bro.
I never liked them last season to begin with. And I also think it's BS that we didn't get to use the orange ones because the orange ones are like, aside from being absolutely gorgeous, Total 90, Nike did a great job. Um, there's a president of Levante and Barcelona playing, and they were both able to they were able to play with an orange kit very similar to it. So
Mhm.
that's a whole nother thing. But cool. So with that, let's close off. Did you want to talk about Atletico real quick? They struggled again. Anything specifically you want to say? I mean, honestly, Atletico's just kind of
I
been
think they need a wake up call.
yeah, they've been annoying me, and I said it before the season starts, someone that's giving me bad vibes is Atletico. I didn't think they really got enough of the signings that they needed. They lost some important players. And I think they've been struggling ever since, and I don't think they've really
Yeah, they just been doing the same tactics for like the past 5 seasons, and like at this point, like everyone's already
everyone
used to
knows them.
them. Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like there's more to talk in
Was
the
it a
Premier League.
two? Yeah, 2-1, 1-1 with Elche. They play Alaves next. Hopefully could get out more goals. But aside from that, yep, nothing more to talk there. So let's move on now to the Premier League. Are you okay
Hmm.
with that?
Yeah,
Um,
there's a lot of games. There were
there's
some high scoring games
there's a
too.
lot to talk about. I want to start off with Spurs shocking City at the Etihad. Was it 2-0, I believe?
Yeah.
Yeah, 2-0. So we had early goals from Brennan Johnson and Joao Palhinha. City looked like they looked very, very disjointed. Uh, they had they had most of their stars on the pitch, and I expected a lot more from City. And I think it's funny because last week when we were talking about it, we were using them and Liverpool as an example of like the difference between Liverpool and City and compared to like Arsenal, for example. And
Hmm.
this week it kind of all got flipped on its head. City looked lackluster. They weren't able to get the result at Spurs. Liverpool just saw they barely scraped by, got the win 3-2. And
And
then
with a red
Arsenal
card.
looked really good. But let's start with the Spurs and City. Any initial thoughts on that?
Yeah, I know the Spurs have a new coach,
Mhm.
and they're are they on top of the table? I think they are.
No way.
Yeah.
And I
No,
need
no,
to
no.
double check that.
They're second.
They're second.
Arsenal is first, but like,
Arsenal are so current table as of Monday. We have Arsenal first on goal differential +6, Tottenham Hotspur second goal differential +5, Liverpool third goal differential
mhm.
+3, and then Chelsea fourth with goal differential +4.
Yeah, and I mean, like, it's only 2 games.
Yeah,
We still have,
like we
I
said last
think,
time, right?
36 games.
We can't say like this is what's gonna happen, and we kind of did a little bit last time, and it's biting us in the ass right now. But yeah, it's 2 game.
Yeah, Tottenham is playing good. Man City, we know the usual trend is they start the season a little bit shaky, and then towards that second half, like they just go win after win after win. I wonder if we're gonna see that, or if we're gonna see what we saw last season, where
Mhm.
they struggle at the beginning and they also struggle at the end.
Yeah.
Um, I and I don't.
The
Tottenham is,
consistency,
yeah,
right? Like that's ultimately, I think, what we talked about last episode as well. Like if you don't have the consistency there, are you going to be able to pull a full season together to get into first of all like European spots, so the Europa
hmm,
League, the Champions League, the Conference League, and then second of all, enough to possibly fight for a title, correct?
yeah,
And yeah, I mean, I guess we could also ask the same question, like, what the hell's going on with Manchester City? Because last week they looked phenomenal and they look like they're
they're back,
yeah,
and
it looked like they had cleared the ghost for a while, right? And then this game is like, okay, well, we might need to expect a little bit more um inconsistency from City as well.
yeah, I think
So
that's something that we're gonna see. Second game was Chelsea against West Ham, 5-1. Chelsea,
went
yeah,
wild.
they went wild.
So let's see who
Ooh,
got the
and those
goals.
jerseys, I don't know, but
The
these
black
seasons,
ones?
yeah, the jerseys are looking really nice.
Did you see him with the Club World Cup patch?
Yeah,
They're sexy.
I don't know. I think it throws off the colors.
I do I wish it was like monochrome, like if it was just like white to fit in kind of with the Chelsea.
Hmm.
I don't love that old logo, but I do think that
I like the old logo. I like the lion.
really
Yeah, I think it looks
I like
nice.
the Lions too, but I just like the I don't know. Anyhow, I do think they're very, very, very nice jerseys.
Yeah.
Um, if you had to get a Chelsea jersey with a number, who would you get? I'm just curious.
Mm, I don't know. I don't think I follow Chelsea that much to the point where I'll dedicate like a number in the back. I would just get
The
traditional
jersey,
jersey
yeah.
itself.
I'm usually that
Um,
way. Like it's very. I think
Also they buy so many players and sell them, so like you never know that
who's
player's
gonna be
actually
in the
gonna stay.
squad? Yeah,
Yeah.
I think like the only so right now in my closet, aside from Messi, the only two players that I have is Lamine Yamal, obviously
Hmm.
last season, Rafinha. I was really considering getting one of the Barca kits with a Pedri this
But it
season,
would be nice.
but yeah, I also prefer just like plain shirts. But yeah, so we got goals from Joao Pedro, which was his first for the club. Pedro Neto got a goal. Enzo Fernandez,
Hmm.
Moises Caicedo, who I think is super underrated, and Trevor how do you Shalaba?
I think so.
I
Yeah.
think it's Shalaba, but I don't want to. I don't want to butcher it. Just in case I do, feel free to like correct me in the comments or whatever. Um, yeah, and then West Ham, they look like deeply unsettled. They look like they could use some help in the midfield. They
Yeah.
just let go of Edson Alvarez, who went to Fenerbahce. Yeah, whatever. So that's unfortunate for them. But any major takeaways from this Chelsea beating of West Ham?
Yeah, no, they did good. I know the first game people were giving them like, hey, they tied and they're supposed to be like, this top tier team.
Hmm.
Um, but again, we're gonna see how they perform the next couple games. Maybe this is like the uh motivation they need, and then maybe they'll continue bringing it through the other games. But
I
we'll
do
see.
I do think Chelsea could be somewhat.
Oh, they're definitely gonna be top contenders for
Yeah, I was gonna say
the
like they
top
could be
four
somewhat of a
position.
dark horse because I don't know if we would expect them to be. I mean, I guess the Club World Cup everybody thought was a fluke,
Mm-hmm.
so I don't know if we necessarily expect them to be one of the top contenders. But I would definitely put them as contenders, and for those who didn't expect them to be a dark horse, um, with
Ooh, all Arsenal fans right now are happy.
Arsenal, dude. My biggest takeaway from that Arsenal game was last game. I don't know if you saw, but Victor Gyökeres was getting blasted because he kept touching his
Mm-hmm.
hair. And this came after one of his goals. He goes up to the camera and starts like flicking. I thought that was
Yeah.
classy for sure.
Like if
I
I
had a lot of
score, I'll
fun with
touch my
that.
hair out wherever I want it. But
Yeah,
yeah, no, Arsenal they did pretty good. He got a brace. He wasn't the only one that got a brace, right? Timber got a brace too.
yeah.
Saka got a goal. Um,
Saka, man, he needed that goal. So yeah, you're right. Timber did get a brace, 34 and 56. Gyökeres got a brace, and then Saka got one. Yeah.
good performance. So Arsenal fans, you should be proud. Man U
This is
fans,
what we want. This is what we want from Arsenal. I've been saying this. This is what we expect. This is what Arsenal fans expect. I'm not an Arsenal fan, just clearing that up. But this is the Arsenal that I think if we get going forward could potentially fight for the Premier League.
oh yeah,
And
100%.
and again, we're not gonna sit here and be like, oh yeah, your path to the Prem is so clear because it's match day 2. We understand that, but this is what you should be doing, especially like I'm not gonna dish out any hate towards Leeds United either, say that they're a trash club or anything, but they're not top of the table,
Well,
right?
they just got promoted too, so I
Yeah,
could see how they will struggle a little bit against a top tier like Arsenal. Um, but 5-0 is also like that's obvious that it was mismatch.
yeah.
Arsenal was just too good in that game.
And then aside from that, I want to move on to somebody else who keeps having a terrible time from like 2 to 3, maybe 4, maybe 5, possibly 6 years ago.
I just
It
gotta say they're probably gonna stay in that area of
yeah,
the table for
yeah.
sure.
Last time they were relevant was, oh right, it was when Cristiano Ronaldo still played for them.
Yeah,
And then they had a face off against one of the club legends, as Cristiano Ronaldo, send them packing, and they've been irrelevant ever since. We're talking about Manchester United, by the way, in case you don't know. And it really sucks because I feel like if I followed anyone growing up in the Premier League, it was Manchester United.
yeah.
And are they just horrendous? They have a tactical crisis. Um,
They have a
the
crisis
three,
for everything. Realistically, the
yeah, I
goal they
mean,
score was an own goal.
yeah.
Um, then
You had
you win a
Bruno who,
penalty and then you go miss it.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then you go see him complain like, "Oh, the referee messed up my rhythm." I'm like, if you're a top player playing in the Premier League, that is not gonna mess up your rhythm.
So here's a hot take, and I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this one, but Bruno's overrated. I, I've I think he used to be really good, but then I think he had the same Vinicius effect of like he had a couple, one or maybe even 2 or 3 really good seasons, and then everybody was like, oh, he's great. And then Manchester United struggling. They're like, oh no, he's a good piece in like a really bad side.
Do you think if he were to go to a different team, he would be
No.
better? Maybe put
Oh,
like an
he'd be,
Anthony.
yeah. I think if he were to go to a different team, a better team, he would be better. But I also think that if he were to go to a top team, you'd see that Bruno isn't as good as people really think he is. Manchester United fans hype him up to be like at some point, dude, they had comparisons to Kevin De Bruyne, and that's
Um,
now I think we could see that how disrespectful that is. I'm so sorry, Manchester City fans, that you had to deal with that. I think he's good. I'm not trying to say that he's not good. I'm not trying to say that he's not maybe like a top 15, maybe. But
mhm.
a lot of people are like, "Oh, top 3 in the Prem." He's not top 3 in the Prem, bro. Like that's my hot take. I may be wrong. Um, but yeah, we funnily enough on one of our videos, I think it was on TikTok, we had someone comment about we posted a video about United and they're like, "Oh, they're gonna finish in 16th this year again." And
Mm,
I hope
could
you
be a
put money on that
possibility.
because that'd be really interesting if they do.
Do you
Um,
think the coach is gonna get sacked this
he
season?
should. I don't know what he's still doing there, and but honestly, like this brings up the bigger question, which is like, is it just about the coach? Is it about the players? Is it about the culture? What is it about? And I feel like,
Like the
at,
ownership of it
yeah,
too.
and I feel like at this point, it's like the Manchester United culture is just like it needs a change. It needs a coach that comes in with a strong personality, who brings in a new culture, who owner give that he need they need a coach that the owners are willing to hand the keys over and be like, "Hey, we trust you, run this," you know?
Yeah,
Would we get that? I don't know.
I don't
Uh,
think we will
but
realistically.
prediction, over or under? Um, Amorim stays for more than half the season with United.
I think they probably. Well, I don't know. They had the previous coach there for way too long.
Yeah.
So maybe.
I'm
Uh,
saying under. I don't think he makes it through half.
I think under, but like I wouldn't be surprised if he does stay past the season too.
I
I
think
have.
if, I think if he stays, it'll just show the lack of respect that. Well, if these results continue, right, and he
Hmm.
stays, I think it'll just show the lack of respect that ownership has for their fans and their club overall.
Uh,
If he does pick up, the slack, then there's nothing to complain about, and I would understand what he would say. But realistically, just from what I've seen, I think under.
okay.
But yeah, with that, let's get a couple other ones. I think
I want to talk about Liverpool.
yeah, that's where I wanted to go to. We just saw the game. We just finished 3-2 against Newcastle.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Alexander Isaac drama is going on. So, from my understanding, he's refusing to play with Newcastle. Newcastle keep finding him. He wants that Liverpool transfer. Um, what do you think?
Yeah. Let me just focus on the game first.
Yeah,
Liverpool goes up, Newcastle gets a red card. Newcastle is fighting for the game, and they scored two. And the funny thing is that Newcastle had more shots than Liverpool
yeah.
with a man down, and this shows that like is Liverpool defense struggling? Now that they don't have Alexander Arnold, like one of the goals came. Actually, I think both of the goals came from that right side.
Fearpong is injured, isn't he?
I'm not sure,
Let me double
but
check, but if I'm
I
not wrong,
think they struggle.
I'm pretty sure he was injured, so
But
that
the
might
other
be
thing
part
is
of it.
also like Ben Dyke has been struggling with
Mhm.
this past couple games. Like he's been letting some balls that shouldn't be going into the box or getting into the box get into the box, and once the ball is in the box, it's dangerous.
Yeah, so Liverpool started with Soboslai up in the right side, and you know what? I'm just gonna Google it, but I'm pretty sure Frimpong is injured.
Yeah, and they didn't start with Frimpong,
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm pretty sure
and he wasn't subbed, and that back line stayed the same.
and McAllister didn't play today either, but I don't know if McAllister was injured. Slot review. Dutch right will be sidelined. Yep, hamstring injury for Frimpong. As for
Yeah, but just continuing
yeah,
on, I think Liverpool struggle. And
which you do you think it's normal when you don't have your traditional starting 11, or do you think it should be something we should look into more? Kind of like the same thing we say with City, right? Like
mhm.
obviously, like Liverpool, we're lucky enough to get the win to scrape by City, right? But
I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of new players, a
mhm,
lot of injuries, and I feel like that chemistry is still not there, which is why
yeah,
they're struggling a little bit. That attacking line is not struggling as much just because there's still a good amount of the same players, so that chemistry is still there. But like in the center mid and then back line, they're struggling with that chemistry. They're letting in balls that shouldn't like they should
yeah,
be easily cleared, and they're not getting cleared. So I think that's something that they're struggling with. Over time that chemistry starts building, I think they're gonna perform a lot better. But for this next game, I'm not sure who they're playing, but I do think they're gonna struggle a little bit with that defensive line.
check for you real quick. So let's see. We got Liverpool. They should be facing
Arsenal, that's gonna be a good one.
Arsenal. That's man. I think this is gonna be an exciting game, and I
I
want
think
to.
that's probably gonna be the game of the weekend
Yeah,
because you have all your um
you have top.
whoever, yeah,
Yeah,
whoever
whoever
wins
wins
this
it
one.
possibly takes, unless Tottenham does something, stay up there. But whoever wins this prop possibly takes it. Which brings me back to our section of over and under. Over and under goals, Liverpool, Arsenal, 4 in total.
Oh yeah, I think it's gonna be over for sure.
Over. See who else. Last time I had him queued up. This time I didn't have him queued up. Over and under on Barcelona's game. I'm pretty
Uh,
sure they're playing Alaves.
um,
Oh, sorry, I didn't even tell you the over or the under.
yeah.
My bad. Let me just double check. But I do think they're playing Alaves. Oh, Rayo Vallecano. Sorry, they're playing Rayo Vallecano. Over and under on 4. Wait, what do we have? We just had 5 goals, so over and under on 5 goals.
Uh, hopefully under. Because
Hopefully
if it's
under.
over, then that means they're coming back from like
And
getting scored 2 or
or
3.
you could be Barca scoring all 4. Over and under and Barca scoring 3 goals.
I could see that happening.
Okay.
Just maybe over 2 goals.
I
Having
say
them to have
Barca
3.
over 2. I think the game over 3.
Yeah.
So at least 2-2 or 3-1, something like that. Mallorca, Real Madrid, over or under and 3 goals. And the reason why I'm choosing 3 goals is because when Mallorca played Barca earlier on, they lost 3-0.
Mhm.
Also because Madrid just beat Oviedo 3-0. So
Mhm.
I think that's a common denominator there. 3 goals, Mallorca, Real Madrid, over or
Yeah.
under.
I think also depends if like their players are coming back. I'm not sure how long their suspensions were.
Mhm.
Um, but if they have the players and stuff, I think it might just be 3 or under. And
I think over. I want to take
or
the over on that one. I think Madrid wins it 3-1.
yeah, all I'm saying is, well, it's also they were down 9 men, so yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
Over, under, or more will it happen when it happened? Mbappe gets a goal this weekend.
Oh, definitely. He's been performing. He's the only player in Real Madrid that's been performing this season, last season.
Yeah. He's been
And
on
also
top.
like if they get a pen, which happens like 50% of the time for them,
Yeah.
he's gonna be shooting it.
Um. Okay. With that, I think. Oh wait, did you want to do any over unders from the Premier League? I mean, I know we talked about. Let me see who City's playing, and then maybe we could do one of that. Manchester City. Let's hear. They have Brighton. Over under. What should I pick? Brighton just won 2-0. City just lost 2-0. Over under and 2 goals of the game.
Oh yeah, I think so.
Over.
Yeah, over to him.
Who wins it? Everton. Sorry, Brighton or City?
I think City is gonna take it, but
I think City 2-1.
I think they're gonna take it, but it's either they're gonna not struggle at all or they're gonna struggle really hard.
Yeah.
I don't think there's gonna be an in between. It's gonna be either one of those two.
Yeah. And just to be a little bit more fair, let's do Manchester United over under too.
Who are
Who
they
they're
playing
playing?
against?
Grimsby Town. They're decently ascended, correct? Or am I crazy?
Maybe.
Oh, but that's sorry. No. That I'm tripping. That's the Carabao Cup. That's why.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't recognize that team at all.
That's why I was
Uh,
like, are they just recently ascended? But Papa fixtures. Let's see. Manchester United. Burnley in the Premier League. The 30th of August, Saturday.
I don't know. I think they're just gonna go tie. Maybe 1-1,
Yeah,
2-2.
tie 1-1. That's good
Um,
enough.
yeah, because then after that, bro, they have it tough. After that, it's Man City and then Chelsea
Mhm.
afterwards.
Chelsea have Fulham coming up
Oh yeah,
this week
no.
as well. Over under on that one. And I'm gonna do 4 goals.
What were the teams again?
Chelsea and Fulham.
I think over 4.
I think over 4. I think it's gonna be like
3-2.
3-2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But with that, guys, I think we discussed everything more or less that we wanted to discuss. Any closing thoughts?
Nah, I think it was good.
Please keep liking, subscribing, watching our videos. Go follow us on TikTok. Go follow us on Instagram. Keep following us on YouTube. Thank you so much for the support. This has been 90 Plus, and we'll see you next time.